Today on the channel, we take a trip to the Star Wars galaxy with the Rogue One figures of Galen Erso, Antoc Merrick, and Saw Gerrera.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here. Welcome back to the channel for another Star Wars unboxing and review. And today from the Star Wars Black Series, we got Antoc Merrick, Galen Erso, and Saw Gerrera. But remember, for all your Star Wars needs and a whole lot more, to hit up Big Bad Toy Store. Link in the description below. And of course, these guys, two of them are Target exclusives, where Saw Gerrera, he's available everywhere or somewhere, I guess. Walmart's, Targets, Big Bad Toy Stores of the world. But an interesting one, of course, Rogue One, a Star Wars movie. Actually, one of the better Star Wars movies. I really enjoyed Rogue One the first time I saw it. It definitely holds up, and I'd put that right up there with the original trilogy. Yes, I said it. I really do enjoy Rogue One. Some of the other Star Wars stuff outside of the original trilogy, obviously you got some goods and bad, and then you got some that are really good, like Rogue One. So it's very interesting to get action figures. We got action figures many years ago on the Rogue One brand. Gotta be honest, they didn't sell so well. Jyn Erso, I think you could still see her at some Target stores from way back in the day. So not the heavy hitter sales figures they probably wanted from the Star Wars line at Hasbro, but it is what it is. And then we got a little bit of that here because these guys are part of that patented old Kyle Peterson long game. As I was playing the long game on these, I was like, gosh, I really want this Saw Gerrera, but $33.99. Oh, inflation, what are we doing? And I held back. I said, you know what? I'm going to wait. There's no way they're going to sell these. I'm going to get a deal, and that's exactly what I did. He is currently at Target for $16.99, basically half off. Got to get a deal all day long. $16.99, can't pass up Saw Gerrera for that point, so I picked him up at $16.99. Then you get Antoc Merrick. He was like $27.99. One of these guys was $27.99. One was $24.99. I don't understand that at all, but Antoc and Galen Erso, Target exclusives, like I said, $27 and $24.99, absolutely ridiculous. I did buy these, and then I took them back. I said, there's no way these aren't going to clearance. Well, here we are. Clearance is hit, and I think I got Galen Erso for $11.99 and maybe $12.99 for Antoc Merrick, something like that. So once again, you got to get a deal, and that's the way I'm going with Star Wars. These Star Wars price points, to me, I love my Star Wars figures, but I don't like it as much as some of the other properties I get, so it falls in the back of the line, and I got to get a better deal on these guys, and that's what I'm doing. I'm waiting. I'm playing the waiting game. What are you playing the waiting game on? What are you playing the long game on? What are you looking for deals on? Let me know in the comments, but that's what I did right here. Got all these guys a lot cheaper than regular retail, so got to get a deal all day long. But let's start the reviews off, and of course, we're going to do these reviews like we do all the reviews on the channel. Take a look at the packaging, talk about it, unbox it, talk about it, see where it goes from there. Let's start off with old Antoc Merrick. Don't call him Anton, he's Antoc. Antoc Merrick, you got the Rogue One, tealish color packaging there. Big bubble window, very plain in the back, not a lot going on. You get his helmet, you get his blaster, and we're off to the races. Of course, there's part of the mural, looking good, looking sharp right there. And on the back, we got his figure, let's see, he is number 8. He is number 8 in the Rogue One line. We got a blurb for him, cross-sell, not existent. It just is what it is. On Antoc Merrick commands Yavin 4 starfighters before the Battle of the Death Star, flying as Blue Leader. So, cool enough. A lot of guys wanting their pilots. I understand that as well. Off to the races. See you later. Off to the races. See you later. Goodbye. And we got a little plastic prison. Old Antoc Merrick, a lot of reuse with this one. That's where it's so hard to stomach the extra price point on something like this when we get so much reuse with this. But I picked it up at a deal price. You guys know. There it is. Out of the package, out of the plastic prison. Off to the races. See you later. Goodbye. All right, let's break down these accessories as we usually do. We got the old blaster, the very Han Solo-esque blaster. It always reminds me of course. Got a little scope action on it. I like the extra detail of the silver on the tip of the gun, so that does go a long way. But it's your paint-by-numbers blaster, really, right there. And then you get his helmet. It is a cool enough helmet. You got the Rebel insignia. It's got some wear and tear, some dings on it. Some good color with the black, the white, the gray, the yellow. Even a little bit of teal in there, so it does look pretty good. It is, once again, your paint-by-numbers Yavin helmet, Rebel helmet, whatever we want to call it, whatever the actual term is. Let's see here. It looks like we got a Bryan Cranston figure. That's what he kind of looks like. He looks like, the dad from Malcolm in the Middle. He was in all, you know who he is, Bryan Cranston. That's what he kind of looks like here. But he looks very distinguished. Looks like a fine English gentleman, a guy that's going to sip on some high tea, things like that. Definitely a good-looking head sculpt. A little bit shiny, as we see with the Black Series. But it definitely works. Definitely looks like the character. Beautiful part in his hair. His hair is just absolutely fabulous. And then he's got a mustache you can set your watch to as well. So he does look good. Articulation, of course. Arms go all the way around. Side to side at the elbow. Single jointed at the elbow. No bicep cut on this one. Wrists back and forth, side to side on the hands. Nothing there. Head back and forth, of course. You get a little bit of waist action. Very, very tight. Actually, is there no waist action? There's a little hula hoop at the top, but not very much. Almost a statue in that department. You do get a thigh cut. You do get a little bit of splits, but it is blocked by his jumpsuit apparatus, whatever we're going to call there. You do get the double jointed knees, but we do got pins, of course, pinless at the top. And then you got ankles side to side, back and forth. So not a ton of articulation with him. Obviously, he is a fighter pilot, but I don't know. I feel like we need a little bit more articulation with him. And these straps are really kind of annoying. Like reverse suspenders is almost what it looks like. Or he put the suspenders down. He pulled the straps down like a young Jerry the King Lawler. We do get the vest there with all the kind of Robotniks and the hose and the piping. That does look good. Of course, the blue color, the white. Definitely Rogue One accurate with this figure. It looks good, but it's not 20 and above good. That's the case, and that's the reason we're seeing him going down to clearance. So it's a good long game figure. I wouldn't say this is a great figure. If you paid full price on this, you might be able to take it back to your Target and get a price match even as well if it's within 90 days or 120 days if you got a red card. But there's old Antoc Merrick. Is what it is. That's all I can really say about it. It's a nice one. It's a world builder. It builds out your Rogue One world. Is it the greatest thing since sliced bread? Is it a Wookiee? Is it an Ewok? Is it a Bib Fortuna? Absolutely not. But we are turning our attention next to another Target exclusive, old Galen Erso. A very, very plain one, of course. A relative of our old friend Jyn Erso. Maybe her father. There it is. But very plain figure once again. Maybe an army builder type figure if you use different heads, but very, very plain. Of course, he is at fault for building the Death Star and all the plans and all that, so it's all up to him. He's at fault for the whole galaxy having all kinds of trouble for many, many years, as we saw depicted in the movies. But there he is. Little glamour shot, looking confused, looking like a guy doing something he doesn't want to do, kind of like in the movie. On the back, we get the blurb, we get a little no cross-sell. I guess that's force of habit, cross-sell, but we get warnings and all the other languages, things like that, a little glamour shot. What number is he? He is number 7. Number 7 in the Rogue One line. Galen Erso was coerced into using Kyber crystals to enhance energy yields. Work then weaponized to create the Death Star's super laser. So there it is. Everybody loves lasers. We know that, especially in the 80s. Lasers were everywhere. See you later. There it is. Plastic prison. Galen Erso. Looks like he's got those the Death Star files there. Is that his accessory? See you later. I think we've seen those before. Didn't we see those with the Rebel Troopers, maybe? I don't know. What is time? I can never remember anything anymore. Pull him out. See what's going on. Oh, come on. And there it is. See you later. Plastic prison off to the side. We get one accessory here. It's just that little, looks like a little metal, I guess. Just a little file card. Like you put it into your computer, things like that. So it is what it is. Is it really anything that special? Not really. Not really. That's why it's really hard to justify a well over $20 price point for something like this. No weapons, no extra accessories. Just a guy in a suit. There's not a lot of kids looking for a guy in a suit. That's for sure. Very interesting head sculpt, very glossy, too glossy, I would say. It almost makes him look strange. He's got a strange look to him. And boy, that neck, look at this. He looks like he's got something going on with his neck. That is some weird articulation. We got the ball joint down in the neck, and you got one in the head, so it's like double. But you can almost give him a Hunchback of Notre Dame type thing going on there. Very, very interesting articulation with that one. Of course, the head side to side, but the ball joint on the neck is just very strange on this one. Once again, he's got a haircut you can set your watch to, a very plain Jane haircut, something my grandma would love. When I used to have my toys over to my grandma's when I was a little kid, when I was little Kyle back in the day, I used to grab my wrestlers, grab my action figures. Grandma, would you invite this guy in for dinner? And she would say, absolutely not. If they had long hair, facial hair, anything like that, she would not allow them in her house. But then you get a guy like this, you'd say, you know, he looks like a nice boy. He could come in. That's probably how it would have went with my grandma in the mid-'80s. That's just how it goes. But Galen Erso's an interesting one, a very interesting one. I just don't like the head sculpt on this one. I don't know. I'm not super familiar. I don't close my eyes and think of what he looks like, but it feels like this is just a miss. It feels like there's a little bit off in the mouth, a little bit off in the eyes. Just an interesting one. And then outside of that, it's just plain Jane. It's just, it looks like a worker guy. I mean, it just doesn't look like anything really all that special, I gotta be honest. We got a little insignia on the arm, of course. The articulation is the exact same as Antoc Merrick. You got the single joints, no double jointed on these guys. He does got double jointed knees, but then you got the pins that just really are an eyesore. You got a little extra plastic down here. What's going on there? They didn't get that shaved off down to the ankle. So that looks a little strange. You're going to have to clean that up a little bit. He's got black boots going on, side to side, waist articulation, a little bit tighter waist articulation than Antoc Merrick, where Antoc was kind of limited by a lot of stuff. This is all right. This is all right. And that's just how it sums this figure up. It's just all right. It's great if you're building out your world. It's great if you're a completionist. It's great if you're a big Rogue One fan. Outside of that, a lot of people I could see passing, and I think that's one of the reasons he will be on clearance, and I would not be shocked to see him go farther down the clearance pipeline, maybe down to $6.99, maybe $7.97 like those Shore Troopers we've seen. Who knows? But he does fit on a ringside collectible stand, same as Antoc Merrick. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10% at ringside. Make sure you get a WWE stand. So now we saved it up for the main event, Saw Gerrera. This was one I really wanted to buy. This one I was like, what am I doing here? But at a discount, felt okay for me. Saw, I really did mull over the $33.99, but I was smart enough in my collector's brain to know he's going to drop down. And I was kind of surprised to see him drop down to $16.99 so fast. But my wallet's not complaining at all. But there's Saw Gerrera, big background. He does feel deluxe to me. He does look a little bit bigger. He does have an accessory with him. I don't know. It feels weird with these deluxe figures, as for years we always felt they really felt deluxe. But now we're starting to get things like some of these Boba Fett's and the Cobb Vance of the world that don't feel quite deluxe. This one I hope does, and it does, at least on the package, looks a little deluxe to me. He's a bigger guy, a big dude. So there he is on the side. He is number 10 in the Rogue One lineup. We've, of course, got the blurb there. You got the glamour shot, a bunch of nonsense down there. Nothing fun over on this side. Let's read the back, see what it says about old Saw Gerrera. Some would say Saw is the law. Gerrera is bunkered on the ancient world of Jeddah. Oh, beautiful this time of year. Coordinating a prolonged insurgency against the Imperial occupation, his ailing health does little to wither his resolve to fight. And he was a fighter, of course, going all the way back to the Clone Wars back in the day. See you later. I believe he was in the Clone Wars, or was it Rebels? I think it was Clone Wars he was in. Yeah, he was in Clone Wars. Fairly confident there. See you later, more plastic. See you later, Spider-Man style. And then we get a little plastic prison for old Saw Gerrera. Looking good right there. He does come with a blaster. Oh, he's got his patented walking stick. Oh, that's how you know you made it, when you got a walking stick. And off to the races. See you later. Goodbye. All right, let's look at the accessories first here. Let's look at that walking stick. Like a young Donatello is what he is, but cool walking stick. Got the leather wrapping there, the silver accents in between. Just all around good form functionality here. Of course, helps you walk, helps you in battle. Everybody should have a walking stick when they get old. I'm going to recommend it. Maybe another 10 years I'll pick one up. We'll see what happens. Then we do get a blaster here. Nice blaster, nice silver color to it. Love the extra attention to detail with the little handle action. I'm all for that all day long. So now we get down to Saw Gerrera. And what do we got from old Saw here? Now, interesting. There's a lot going on with this piece. And like I said, it does feel deluxe because there's so much going on with him here. I'm just trying to kind of soak it all in, drink it all in. And I guess we'll start with the head. Now, the head is kind of bought down in the apparatus. He almost reminds me of Deep Six. You remember Deep Six from G.I. Joe back in the day? Hopefully we'll get a classified one of these days soon. His head's kind of down inside of his costume a little bit, very much like Deep Six had back in the day. He just got nice hair going on, very nice poof up there, very, very stylish. He's got some battle damage on his face. He's a guy that's seen some things, as we know. He's been through some big battles over the years, so it does look good. Then you've got a big shoulder plate, shoulder guard on one side, kind of blocking things. Almost looking a little bit mechanical, like he's almost turning into part droid, and you really notice that down to a leg. He lost his leg. He's got a robotic leg down here, like a young Major Blood's robotic arm, or I always assumed was a robotic arm. But I'm sure he lost this leg in battle. I'm sure he's been in all kinds of battles, fighting the battle. He's a guy that looks like he's fought some battles, and that's the way Saw Gerrera should look. He does got his little breathing apparatus deal here that, of course, he always puts up to his mouth in the cartoon and in the movie to help him breathe. So we do have that, and I like how it is structured in here. It is held in. You could remove this and get it really far out into his hand if you want to, but it also plugs in here to keep it stored away. You've got the oxygen canister down here at the bottom, and you got some straps hanging off all over the side. So that's really good attention to detail, and that's one and done sculpting here. So for something to feel deluxe like this, you're not going to be able to use this again with another character. I don't know of any other characters that have this whole apparatus going on here. So it costs more to make a one-off mold. That gives that deluxe price point. So take that into note, I guess, when you're criticizing or thinking about your action figures, this figure, any figure. You got to take that into account. Just because it's not a big figure doesn't mean it's necessarily not deluxe in other ways. We always got to remember that. He does got a cape like his boy Lando Calrissian. I'm sure he learned that from him. It is cape season year-round after all, we found out in 2022. But nice color on the cape. You got the red color and then the white, kind of sandy white. Really looks good. I always feel like a cape might be a little bit of a nuisance sometimes, but I don't know what the actual reasoning for this cape is. It's not going to really hide you. I'm not exactly sure, but hey, more power to him. More capes, the better. You guys know me. Articulation going to be the same as these other guys. A lot of single-jointed issues going on. No dual joints, but boy, I really do like this robot leg down here. It's like really a battle-tested dude in Saw Gerrera. You do get a holster for his pistol here, so I love to be able to store my weapons on my figures. You guys know that. Just a heck of a lot going on with this guy. A heck of a lot, and it does look good. It actually feels just as good as I thought it would feel in hand. It feels about like I figured it would. Does he fit on a ringside collectible stand? I would assume he will. Why wouldn't he? The other two have, so he should too, but let's see. Oh yeah, he fits like a glove in the old ringside collectible stand. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. Saw Gerrera, he is definitely the winner here, but he definitely should be. He's got pretty low competition in these two plain Jane figures. Saw is the law at the end of the day here at the table. These two, I recommend the waiting game. Get the discount if you're picking these up. There's no reason to pay over $20 for either of these guys. This guy feels at home about $22.99, $24.99. I think would have felt like a good deal, but $16.99, even better. Got to get a deal. Check your local Targets. You'll probably be able to pick him up for $16.99, or hit up Big Bad Toy Store if you want to just get him shipped to your house right away. You can always do that as well. But a Saw Gerrera, a good figure. These two, they're just going to be okay. They're not going to set your world on fire. They're not going to be on any top 10 list at the end of the year. That's just the way it's going to be. But what say you guys out there in YouTube land and Star Wars land? How do you sit with these three? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, you made it this far, you might as well like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day. Don't forget about the Patreon, where you can get early access to videos like this, bonus content, exclusive content, monthly giveaways, and best of all, you do support the channel. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. And then don't forget to follow along on social media at SirPaul64 on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. So for Saw, Antoc, and Galen, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.